Hey y'all, it's Cindy Cobb with Around the Town in the South, and I'm here with Malcolm White. We are here at Howlin' Miles, and if you know anything about Howlin' Miles, you know it's a staple in Jackson, Mississippi. It's one of the funnest places you could come to, but it's also a great place for lunches. They have events, it's awesome. But that's not what we're talking about. Well, we kind of are, because the after party's here.
That's right.
We're talking about, which is the buzz all over the state of Mississippi, is Hal's St. Patrick's Day Parade. So they did a press conference last week and they put out all the information. I didn't listen to it yet because I wanted to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. I love that Malcolm joins me to talk about this. It's one of my favorite events. When I moved home in 2009, I got involved with the parade, and I have been ever since, and I absolutely love it. So thank you for joining me.
I'm glad to be here. It's always
Awesome.
fun. It's always fun.
And we're in the back room, by the way, which is...
We're in the old brewery room right off of the courtyard here.
It's the VIP section.
It's President's Day.
Sure is. All right, so tell us a little bit, or everything that's going on with the parade this year. People want to know, I wanted our viewers to know firsthand everything about it.
All right. Well, the parade this year will be on March the 26th, which is the fourth Saturday in March. And for many years, we were the third Saturday. And Jill and the Queens were the fourth Saturday. But when we reunited forces some 4 or 5 years ago, when Jill came back into Hal's St. Paddy's Parade, we just took the date she had and went away from the third Saturday because we've always had a conflict with spring break.
Absolutely.
So we're away from spring break, and we've, reformed with the Queens, and so the fourth Saturday, March 26, 2022. This year our theme is around Jackson's bicentennial. It's the 200th anniversary of the city of Jackson, and we're using the theme Go Big and Come Home.
Oh, I love it.
And we call it a homecoming for the bicentennial. It's a great time. I've always said that the parade is a big homecoming, and people who grew up here come to visit, people who went to school here come home, people who have family here come. They choose this time to come because there's plenty to do. And so the parade will be a homecoming around the bicentennial. Our Grand Marshal, we appointed or named in 2020 to, when we thought we were going to have our 2020 parade, which we did not. So Trace Austin is the Grand Marshal, and Trace heads up the Rude Men, used to be the Rude Boys, and he is a float builder extraordinaire and a long-time participant. I think he was in the first parade.
Wow.
So Trace Austin will be the Grand Marshal for the 2022 edition of Hal's St. Paddy's Parade.
That'll be awesome.
The big news this year is around cleanup, barricades, and really public safety and infrastructure, which is boring to people. I know they don't care. They just want to know when the parade is and how they can be in it and who's playing at the after party.
Absolutely.
So the after party, of course, will be in front of Howlin' Miles, between Martin's and Howlin' Miles, and will feature the Mustache Band, the Molly Ringwalds, one of the local brass bands. I think it's, well, I don't want to think. I don't know. I'd be guessing. But anyway,
I'll post that when we find out.
Yeah, there's a whole lineup of music at the after party. It's always a fun time. Capital City Beverages is our sponsor, and Miller Lite is the main beer that we'll be featuring. But it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of food, music, beer, dancing, partying in the streets. But the parade itself, the big parade, will be at 1 o'clock on the 26th. That morning we will have the pet parade and the children's parade. This year we're not going to have the 5K run, unfortunately. It sort of got hung up in the COVID, are we going to have it, are we not? 2 years off, it was hard to restart everything, and this year we just, the UMMC folks, Children's of Mississippi, just could not put the 5K back together. So we won't have it this year, but we'll hope to have it back next year. But we will have the pet parade, we will have the children's parade and the children's festival that morning, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock the parade, and then the after party starts around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So those are roughly the plans that we have announced. We've had to raise a lot of money this year to do things that we've never had to do before. We have to do the cleanup, we have to augment security, and we are having to rent barricades because the city does not own a workable inventory of what we need in the way of providing public safety. And in 2020, I said I would never produce another parade until we got the right barricades.
Gotcha.
So we're having to rent the barricades and do the cleanup and a bunch of other stuff. But again, that's just dull, boring, behind the scenes stuff. As far as the public goes, you know, we're having a parade on the 26th. Come, have a big time, and that's what's going down.
And it's going to be so fun. And let me just backtrack. Several years ago, my niece came into town, and she had her littles with her, and we did the children's parade. We were on the other side down there by the museum,
right.
And the kids absolutely loved it. It was a great way for them to get involved. So this is a family thing. Of course, at 1 o'clock, I would take the kids home, and I would enjoy it as adults. If you've never been to this parade before, go to their page. I will tag that, and you can see some of the things. It's so much fun. But the after party, I don't know how many times I've been out in this street. It is a blast. You'll see, it's like a homecoming, like I said, a reunion for everyone. Keep in mind the safety things. If you have any questions, go to their website or their site. I'll post that too. All the information that you want to know is on there. If it's not on there, then just email them or message them and they'll answer you. But this is very exciting because we've gone 2 years without being green and wearing our beads. So we're excited.
It's been a rough 2 years.
It has been a rough 2 years. We've talked several times. Matter of fact, the first year, I was so disappointed. I got into my car and I came down here, I had my pink party hat on, had my beads, and I took a picture in front of the sign out front, Howland Mouse sign, because I thought, you know, there's so much I want to do, get involved, but we couldn't work some things out. Just hadn't worked out. We were going to do like a little car parade where we couldn't get out, we couldn't get that done. In saying that, thank you for all of your work.
Sure.
It takes a tribe, doesn't it?
It sure does. And you know, it's a big deal for Jackson, this parade, this event, the rites of spring. It's a big deal, and we want people to come, be safe, have a big time, and let's think of this as sort of a rebirth. It's time to move on.
Yes.
You know, what I like to say is, right about now, we all need a parade.
That's a good line.
So.
I'm going to borrow that. I love it. And we do, because not only Jackson, but this brings so much economic development throughout our whole metroplex. We have all of our hotels that are packed. And by the way, if you are going to party down here and you don't want to Uber, there's hotels down here that you can stay in. I love King Edward, several others. Capitol, what is it? Oh, Capitol Inn?
The old Capitol Inn.
Yeah, those are available. So keep that in mind if you don't want to drive. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been, it is a blast. Get your St. Patrick's Day stuff on, because you'll get pinched if you don't. Even though it's not the date, you will. It's just a lot of fun, and we appreciate everybody that's involved to get this done for us this year. The buzz when y'all did that conference last week, my news feed was completely filled with the information, with your conference, with everything. Everybody is so excited to get back involved, to be able to get back, reunite, connect again. And it's just a fun time.
It is, and this year we've got Visit Mississippi and Visit Jackson, our great tourism partners, promoting the parade and helping us. We have set the parade up as a nonprofit, and I did that in 2020, and so now people who become sponsors or who want to give to the Children's of Mississippi can do so and get a tax benefit, whether they're donating to the parade or to Children's of Mississippi. And of course, we love working with UMMC and Children's of Mississippi and promoting the great work that they do that offers any Mississippi child health care at whether or not the parents can afford to pay for it or not. Children's of Mississippi is a remarkable institution, and we're delighted to be affiliated with them, to be a fundraiser, to be a rites of spring, and to be a tourism attraction. Like you say, the economic impact for this is over $10 million for the weekend. So it really brings a lot of tax-based economic development to the city. So it's a beautiful thing, and we're just happy to get it back on track.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of
awesome.
money.
And it is about the children. And I'm going to talk about Jill St. John for just a second. Not Jill St. John.
No, Jill Connor Brown.
Jill Connor Brown. Jill St.
There is
John.
a Jill St. John.
But
That's
she's
Robert.
gone. Yeah,
No, that's Robert
right.
St. John.
That's right, which I love from
Right.
Robert St. John. And the last year that we were here, he was the Grand Marshal.
That's right.
Love him. But we're going to talk about Jill Connor Brown. I'm going to be doing a walk with her. Listen, I love that the ladies are back involved. They have a whole lineup. If you want to get involved with them, bring your ladies down. I'll post their information too and tag their pages. They're staying at the Hilton again. They have a lot of things
Right.
planned for this area, which is going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate that, and we love that y'all are back together. Talked about that.
And they're
last
giving
time.
away a car and raising money for the children at Children's of Mississippi. So that's a Paddy Peck Honda donation, and all of that's in place. And there's just a lot of real positive energy around the 2022 parade and all the festivities and activities. We're so excited to be back. It has been a rough 2 years for us all.
It really has. Listen, thank y'all for joining us, and thank you for joining me today. Anything else you want to say?
No, my pleasure. And just for everybody who's tuned in and that follows this
Around the town in the South.
around the town, the South.
It's hard to say.
Anyway,
Like Jill St.
thank
John.
you. Thank you for being involved, and we appreciate your support. We really appreciate the support for Children's of Mississippi. And, you know, together, let's have a homecoming, and let's have a beautiful celebration of the rites of spring. March 26th, right here in downtown Jackson, 2022, we are back.
I love it. We are back. Y'all, thank y'all for joining us, and I'll see you around the town.